Next segment we're going to talk about is the reaction with Billy Joe Saunders and Marcelo Coceres. Excuse me if I'm butchering his name. I don't mean to. But it was a fighter from Argentina. G, what you think about that fight?
Yeah, it was a pretty good fight. I actually thought, Marcelo was going to win the fight. Like, I didn't score it because I thought he was food for Billy Joe. But, however, he was winning a lot of rounds. And then I was like, yo, is this dude really about to beat this guy? Especially on, like, I was, in a way, I was like, I know Eddie, I know the zone, everybody's getting nervous. Like, we're literally bringing this guy in to lose. Mm-hmm. He's doing great. And, like, that's one of the things about, you're fighting another undefeated fighter who's unknown. So, Billy Joe probably didn't have a lot of footage to prepare for the fight. But the guy was pretty impressive. Now, where he messed up was the last round? Mm-hmm. Or yeah, I think it was the last round.
11th round.
This dude, it was the 11th? Mm-hmm. My man kissing his corner, man. He thought he had it in the bag, like, yo, we got this. And then Billy Joe just turned it to a new gear and put the hurting on him. And, because Billy Joe isn't really known for, knockout action, in his fights. But he got him out of there. So salute to Billy Joe. I know he was talking about he was under the weather, but no excuses. I honestly don't believe him recovering from being sick had anything to do with it. I think the Argentinian guy was just a tricky fighter, and it took him some time to adjust. You could see the desperation in Billy Joe Saunders' corner. They kept telling him, and then finally, though, like, you need to get him out of there. And shout out to his corner. Something clicked, and then he turned it on. Now, I do have an issue, like you brought up in the previous segment about the refs. That referee, I thought, was horrible, right? And this is my issue. When the referee broke them up, literally the referee said, let's go. And then Billy Joe hit him, and then the referee was like, yo, you do that again, you're going to lose a point. And I'm like, you literally just said, let's go. And there was multiple times during that fight where the ref will say, break, but wouldn't break them or whatever. And then so it's like, if you say break, to me, it's like, if I say clean break, right? Stop punching, break, right? If you don't listen, after the third time, at the very least, give them a warning. There was no warnings, no nothing. And I'm just like, where are they getting these referees from? The refs got to do a better job at regulating the ring. I just had a lot of issues with the three refs last night. But that one in particular, because he messed up, it's on camera, so we could all see it. It's recorded. You said let's go, and Billy Joe went for it, and then you got attitude. So
listen, the refs had a lot going on last night.
Man,
it was the KSI Logan Paul fight. Their kids was on them. Their kids was on them for tickets.
Their grandkids was watching them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You better mess up.
Like, let me use your wallet. We need some cotton candy over here. They was sitting there. There was a lot going on there. How you feel about that fight?
I'll say this. At first, I tuned into the zone, and it was showing like the interviews with like all the KSI and Logan Paul, their corners, their team, their parties, and I was like, oh, they're showing this on YouTube. So I went on my TV and I was watching it from YouTube, and like 30, 40 minutes went by. I'm like, yo, where's these fights? I'm watching on YouTube. I'm like, they're just interviewing people. I was like, is this what they're doing? And then I went back to the Zone app and I saw like it was like I got into the fight at the 8th round, and then the cards were like it was pretty even at that time. And then 11th round came. Saunders knocked him down and took him out. Man, I was pretty impressed. I was like, I don't know if he wants Canelo, but he was supposed to fight Andrade last year or earlier this year.
That was last year.
Last year, and then he got caught up.
Drugs.
He got caught up with his spider bites, but
I think he claimed it was nasal spray.
Nasal spray.
Nasal spray.
So if they can make that happen, I would like to see that fight. I think it'd be pretty dope. And then if he's victorious, then go for the Canelo fight after. But let's take baby steps, man.
Yeah, he want that check. He don't want to go fight Andrade. He fight Andrade. He might not get a chance at that $10 million he wanted. a couple of episodes ago, our co-host Caden said something about there should be some laws, or they need to start doing something with the instant replay about fighters getting hit behind the back of the head, and how it should not be allowed. And this happened to this kid last night, right? And well, it happened with this kid last night because this kid almost had an upset. And this was stopped at Billy Joe Saunders. I thought, well, Billy Joe said he won the fight, but shout out to the kid from Argentina. He fought hard. I had it a draw until the punch started with the left hand punch behind the back of the head. You know what I'm saying? I had him winning until we got that knockdown. The punch came behind the back of the head. That's where Billy Joe Saunders, if y'all go back and y'all look, that's where that punch started. And I don't. And Caden was saying something about he don't think that fighter should get credit for hitting other fighters for the back of the head. And this was a clear. Well, that was different.
Nah, it's different.
That was different.
Yeah.
This was a clear example of how you can get hit in the back of the head and your equilibrium could be thrown off, and that's what happened. Actually, that's what happened in this fight.
Man.
Yeah, that's what happened. This kid was fighting a tough fight. He got hit in the back of the head, and Billy Joe Saunders was able to, finish him off. Billy Joe said he wanted to fight Canelo in May, and they say something about he can make up to $10 million. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. You know what I'm saying? You know who I got? Canelo.
I think we all got Canelo. I don't think anybody want to see that fight.
Yeah, but
that's going to be too easy for Canelo.
I think, that's what they, for the UK fans and the Mexican fans, people are definitely going to come out for that fight.
I don't even think they're going to come out.
You don't think so? Hey, listen, I know.
They barely came out for the Kovalev, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they ain't coming out for no Billy Joe Saunders.
We don't know. They might happen. They're talking real strongly about that fight.
Man,
well,
listen,
all I know
they
is
fishing for it. They clearly, if I'm the zone, I would want to make that fight.
And
However,
who else Canelo going to fight
but
in
think
May?
about it, but look at his performance.
Who Canelo going to fight in May? Who Canelo
Argent-
going to fight in May?
Canelo got several options.
Who's
Billy Joe
gonna fight?
Saunders, he could fight any of those dudes. He could fight Andrade.
He's not
He
gonna
could
do
fight
it.
Charlo. He could
He's
fight.
not gonna do it.
But I'm just saying, out of all the names, Billy Joe isn't like he's the least. The when it comes to the threat level, he has the least potential to actually overthrow Canelo's reign.
But that's the actual belt at 168 that Canelo wants. Canelo wants that belt. It's an official belt at 168.
Yeah,
and Canelo wants that belt.
But if it is, it's not like it's gonna be like a super fight by any means. It's literally just gonna be I'm cruising. I'm just chilling. I just want a belt real quick. Let me just take it. Let me rob him. You know what I mean? This is like at gunpoint, like stick him up. You know, because let's just be real, man. Billy's, he's good, but he's not elite champion good. And to be honest with you, I feel like he got up out of Dodge, out of the middleweight division. Because names keep calling like.
Aldrades and the Charlos. Yeah.
Like everybody wants a piece of this dude. This dude said, nah, these dudes is too real. I'm out of here. I'm moving up to super middleweight. And I'm gonna be honest with you, he's food in the super middleweight division too. You know what I mean? I don't see him going up against
Caleb Smith,
David Benavidez. David gonna murder this dude in the ring.
Caleb Plant.
That's what I'm saying. Like now,
you still got the big dog in there too.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just doesn't even make sense, man. Billy, you're good. You're not great. So I just don't see it being. I just don't see.
We always dare.
Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be surprised if the zone really goes about setting up this fight right now. I think if I was the zone, I would give Billy Joe Saunders another fight where I will select a fighter that I know Billy could knock out in impressive fashion within like the first 5 to 6 rounds. So then people could be like, this dude might just be able to do it. But last night's performance, I had him losing, before the knockout.
I had it a draw.
I was like, man, this dude's not impressive at all.
Yeah, Billy Joe Saunders he's not your go in there, you knockout type of guy. He wins
add on. But think to add on to what Ned said, I feel like he chickened out of the Andrade fight, you know. And
Everybody chickens out of the Andre
got
fight.
scared, said, I'm just gonna move up in weight. And to me, it's like I'm pretty sure DAZN thought this was gonna be easy pickings.
Listen,
And he didn't perform well.
Nobody
so now,
is
nobody's
fighting
gonna go,
Boo-Boo.
yeah, I wanna see Canelo versus Sanders. Nobody wants to see that, bro. You know, like I'm telling you, if Canelo struggled to get seats at the Kovalev fight. Now, there's a number of factors like the UFC fight and everything, but if Canelo struggled with Kovalev, imagine what the struggle's going to be when Canelo's fighting
How many
a guy
times?
like Billy
How many times
Joe.
we done seen fights that we didn't want to see? Like we're about to see Deontay Wilder and Ortiz.
Facts.
Nobody wants to see that fight.
And
You
we're
know
going
what
to
I'm
see,
saying? And we gonna see
how they
that fight.
perform, but
You
we're
know
going
what
to see
I'm
how they
saying?
perform with pay-per-view
You know what I'm
numbers.
saying? And now we're gonna see this right here with Billy Joe. I really see that this a chance, especially both guys being on the zone and seeing that Canelo wants a real belt, even though that belt he won from Fielding was a secondary belt. He really wants an official 168 belt. I see it happening. You said you don't want to see it, but I know there's a lot of Mexicans out there that want to see it. And Billy Joe Saunders, I know there's a lot of his UK supporters that say Styles makes fights, and they feel like they can play the Matador against the Bull. So, you know, we don't know.
I'll say one last thing. This is what I've been saying since probably episode 1, right? Like, I believe fighters are just as good as their competition, right? Mm-hmm. So what makes a star is, you know, who's your antagonist. If Billy Joe Saunders isn't really as known in the States or even in the Mexican market for boxing, right? He's a UK star, right? Which is cool. So unless Canelo's willing to go to the UK to make this fight, having a fight, let's say in Vegas or New York, I don't think it's gonna sell at all, to be honest, you know? And so, like, if Canelo wants to maintain that superstar status to pack out seats, he's gonna have to say, hey, DAZN, we need to wait on that fight.
Who else do you see Canelo can't go? Listen, the only reason why I say this, Charlo, as much as we like Charlo, as much as we like Boo-Boo, you know what I'm saying?
But those will sell out.
I don't feel, because you got a whole country. The UK, they're gonna pick up that fight. They're gonna order that fight, Sky Sports or whatever they're gonna do. They're gonna watch that fight. You know what I'm saying? And they will travel. They will travel for Billy Joe Saunders. They will come to New York.
I think they only
You know what I'm saying? They'll come to Madison Square Garden.
I don't even think the UK fans think he's gonna win.
I just know that he has more fans than a Boo-Boo, and I want Andrade I want Andrade to get a fight bad. But we know that nobody's going to fight him. Nobody is going out their way to fight Andrade. We're going to keep mentioning your name, Andrade, but none of these guys is going to pick you to fight.
New England got your back, bro.
We got your back.
We got your back,
but we know that none of these guys is going to say, you know what? I want to fight Andrade. Even the Charlos, I don't see nobody. I think this is going to be another time where Andrade is going to have to go up to 168, and then he's going to have to start calling out guys there. We might end up see him at 175 before he even gets a real fight.
Though, if you notice in the past, every time African Americans and Mexicans get in the ring together, it does excellent numbers. So I think if Canelo sets up a fight with Charlo, it's going to look
even with certain stats.
I'm telling you, that's going to be a good fight.
Who? Jamil Charlo.
Yeah, it's going to be a good
I think
fight.
that would be a better fight than Andrade.
I agree with you. It'll be an easier sell. However, now
it'll be more easier sell. But with Charlo and Canelo
PBC situation, but
I think they can make it happen. We don't already had a DAZN PBC situation.
Andrade he's literally signed to DAZN. So the Andrade and Canelo could happen tomorrow.
Listen, Charlo said that he'll sign for a day with DAZN to fight.
Yeah, I remember he said that. Yeah, true that.
Charlo want to fight.
Yeah.
He'll fight Canelo. He'll fight Andrade. He just wants to fight. Now,
so
other guy. Listen.
So now let me ask you a question. Real talk. Is your man Canelo ducking?
No. This is what I think. You know what I mean?
Keep it a buck.
This is what I think. Canelo looks at it like this. What's the reward? What's the reward? I already went and dominated 160. I got a 154 belt. Now I went up to 168. I got an interim belt. Then I went to 175 and just beat Kovalev. Now I can come down and pick up a belt at 168 with a Billy Joe Saunders. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to deplete my body and go all the way down to 160. I can go to 168 and I can grab a belt right there. Honestly, I don't see Canelo going back down to 160. I think there's too much strain on his body.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? But I see him at 168, and there's other fights for Canelo to be made at 168. And there's there's other we don't even know. I had a dream, right? For real, it was crazy. I had a dream that Andre Ward and Canelo had got it on in a catch weight like 170, 168, something like that. I had a crazy dream.
Oh man, that could be a reality soon.
You know what I'm saying? But I honestly see these guys picking up a check and a belt with the Billy Joe Saunders. You know what I'm saying? Why not? Because I don't see nothing else that can happen in May.
Walk with me on this though. Canelo took a lot of flack for fighting Kovalev, right? Because people were like, oh, Kovalev was washed up.
I think that was
I agree with you. I don't respect that.
I don't respect it at all.
He was still a dangerous fighter. Still had knockout power. However, if he goes, you know what? I'm gonna shut all my critics up. I'm gonna fight Charlo. And if he knocks out Charlo, everyone's gonna go, you know what? You all the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I feel like the reward is pride. And because I get it, he could get more belts, easier belts, but if he does that, then it's like, you're shutting down all the naysayers, and then you're solidifying. Well, to me, he already solidified his pound session.
We gotta stop this too. Another thing too, G. We gotta stop pretending like Canelo's not old. Like we look at his age and we're saying, since he's still young, but he's not young. Yeah, he's been fighting since he was 15. Fighting professional since he was 15. Yeah. We forgot that he's been in the ring with the Sugar Shane Mosleys and the Floyd Mayweathers and all these guys. He's been in these fights. You know what I'm saying? He's been fighting for a while now. And we want to throw him in there with a younger, fresher guy in Charlo? Like, we really thinking, let's think realistically. Yeah, we say Kovalev is old, but yeah, so is Canelo's old too in boxing years. He's been in there in some wars. He's been in some tough fights. He's been in there against some big names. He has a really impressive resume. Like,
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but
I think you're explaining why I hate the whole concept of being a franchise champion.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, we're gonna give him that respect.
We just give him that respect though. Like you want him, like this is what I was saying too on the last episode. Like I get what you guys are saying. Though y'all wanted to see Ryan in there with one of the top guys, I get it. I see y'all with the bloodlust. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have bloodlust. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You know what I'm saying? But it comes time where sometimes it's like I have compassion for these fighters, and I know that these guys have, like Canelo's been in some wars. We've seen Canelo fight a lot.
So I'll rock with you.
Like Canelo,
give him this Billy Joe Saunders tune-up fight.
It's not really. Like,
Charlo.
I don't want to even disrespect Billy Joe Saunders too, because styles do make fights, and Billy Joe Saunders is the type of fighter. He does not a knockout guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He goes in there, and he tries to win on points, and sometimes if he's going to win, it's because of his combinations and the most points that he landed. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying he's two-time world champion. He's in two different weight classes. He was a champion at 160.
That's like.
Listen, I think. Listen, I'm not going to disrespect him. I'm not going to disrespect no fighter that steps in the ring, and he's a two-time world champion.
I agree, but
at 160 and at 168, I believe Canelo will win.
This is food for Canelo.
We believe that. I know that Canelo, but there've been plenty of times that we said that this fighter is going to come in here like the last night that this dude was supposed to be food for Billy Joe Saunders. Like this dude Santiago was supposed to be food for Devin Haney, but these guys still went in there with these tough fights. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know until they get in there, because styles make fights. We might get in there and Canelo's in there fighting a life and death fight with Billy Joe Saunders. He might get left. He might get Billy Joe Saunders might come out there and get in the rhythm, and he's up by 4 rounds. That Canelo is searching for a knockout. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
We know Canelo's going to knock him out.
Yeah. So, but we don't know, though. Yeah. We don't know. Anything can happen in the sport of boxing.
We don't. But anything can happen in the sport of boxing. I think maybe we'll talk about this with the franchise segment. Mm-hmm. But Listen, I want the best to fight the best. I think we all want to see that.
But there's the best can fight the best because it's still like there's still Charlo can still fight Eubank Jr. He can still fight Andrade. He can still fight other people's. And if he wants to go up at 168, he can go up there and try to be great. Try to go up against a Caleb Plant. Try to go up against a Beterbiev and all that. These kids could be trying to be great also.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But if you know your lottery ticket is Canelo Alvarez. Why not submit your little lottery ticket, see if you can win that lotto, right?
But we don't know. Canelo gave us a lot of good fights, and he went up against a lot of big names. We don't know if Canelo's feeling like, you know what, I'm on my way out. You know what I'm saying? I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish in the sport. It's time to start, you know what I'm saying, packing it up.
I'll say this.
You know what I mean? Because he deserves it. Nobody can call him a chicken. Nobody can call him nothing.
And this is what I'll say in closing.
Out of all these champions, he's not the freshest out of all of them. These kids are the younger
and that's why I'm saying this conversation alone warrants why Canelo is number one pound for pound. Because he has options. Everybody in multiple divisions want their hands on Canelo. So shout out to Canelo. You are the dude right now.
Oh, please like and subscribe and check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's the Boxing Bros. This segment went on for a long time. We talk about Canelo.
Canelo, man.
You start talking about Canelo.